blog mentions the release of key neurotransmitters like dopamine and oxytocin, which are associated with feelings of pleasure, connection, and well-being. These neurochemicals enhance your overall sense of happiness and reinforce that positive energetic state. Furthermore, these elevated emotions promote what's known as brain coherence, a state of synchronized activity between your thoughts and feelings.
So everything's working together.
Exactly. It's all in sync. And this strengthens your focus, enhances clarity, and potentially improves your ability to recognize and attract opportunities.
So by consistently cultivating these elevated emotions, we're basically becoming a magnet for the things we desire. The article even suggests that these emotions can transcend the limitations of time and space.
That's the idea. The underlying idea is that these powerful emotional states emit a clear, energetic signal, almost like a broadcast.
Okay.
And your subconscious mind, which doesn't necessarily distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a tangible one,
Interesting.
interprets these consistent feelings as evidence that your desired outcome is already a reality.
So you're tricking your subconscious a little bit.
In a way, yes, because your inner emotional landscape profoundly influences your outer experience. Okay, the universe, in a sense, begins to align circumstances to resonate with that energetic state you're consistently embodying. The right people, the necessary resources, timely opportunities.
It's about embodying the feeling of having it,
Yes.
even before you see the physical manifestation.
Exactly. That's crucial. It's about shifting your internal state from one of longing and wanting to a state of already being and having. In an emotional sense, when you make that internal shift, you release the energetic resistance that often accompanies desire,
Okay.
and you create a space for your goals to naturally gravitate towards you.
All right, so this all makes sense in theory, but let's get practical.
Right.
What are some concrete ways for our listeners to actually cultivate and sustain these elevated emotional states in their everyday life?
Good question.
The article provides a whole list of techniques. Let's go through a few. Gratitude practices first.
Yeah, that's a foundational one. Regularly taking a moment to consciously focus on the things you appreciate, no matter how small they might seem, actively redirects your attention from what you perceive as lacking to what is already abundant in your life. It's a surprisingly simple, yet incredibly effective way to prime your emotional state for positivity.
Then there's heart-focused breathing. What's the added benefit of bringing that feeling of love or gratitude into a deep breathing exercise?
Well, by consciously generating those feelings while you're engaging in deep intentional breathing, you're actively promoting that heart-brain coherence we talked about earlier.
Right.
This practice helps to calm your nervous system, create a more balanced and harmonious internal state, making it easier to access those elevated emotions.
Visualization or mental rehearsal is another technique. We hear about that a lot. How does it specifically tie into cultivating elevated emotions for manifestation?
The key here is to go beyond simply picturing your desired outcome. You want to really immerse yourself in the sensory details of that reality and actively feel the emotions you would experience if it were already happening.
Okay.
This vivid emotional engagement helps to program your subconscious mind.
So it's not enough to just see it, you have to feel it.
Exactly. You have to feel it as if it's already real. And that reinforces that feeling of already having achieved your desire, making it more likely to manifest in your external world.
And then there's movement and music. Physical activity and uplifting music can definitely have a quick impact on your mood.
Absolutely. They're both readily accessible and powerful tools for disrupting those lower emotional patterns and instantly elevating your overall vibrational frequency.
Acts of kindness. That's an interesting one. How does directing positive energy outward through kindness elevate our own internal emotional state?
Well, small, genuine gestures of generosity create an immediate positive emotional feedback loop.
Okay.
Engaging in acts of kindness fosters feelings of connection, fulfillment, and purpose, which are all inherently elevated emotional states.
Mindfulness and meditation. The practice of observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment.
Yes. To create space for intentional shifts.
Right. So, by cultivating present moment awareness, observing your emotional landscape without getting carried away by judgment, you create the space to consciously choose to gently guide yourself towards more elevated and positive feelings.
Exactly.
Reframing thoughts, consciously choosing to look at situations from a more empowering and positive perspective.
This is about actively taking control of your internal dialogue, and consciously replacing limiting beliefs and negative self-talk with more empowering and supportive affirmations.
Joyful activities, intentionally making time for laughter, playfulness, things that genuinely bring you joy. It seems obvious, but it's easy to overlook.
It is. It's so easy to get caught up in the seriousness of life. But laughter and play are instant mood boosters and incredibly effective ways to elevate your emotional frequency and reduce stress.
Affirmations and positive self-talk. Consistently reinforcing encouraging and supportive messages to yourself.
Consistent and positive self-communication strengthens your inner foundation and reinforces those elevated emotional states, ultimately bolstering your belief in yourself and your ability to manifest your desires.
And then, the blog subtly mentions immersing yourself in inspiring content, perhaps articles like the one we're discussing.
Yeah, exactly. Consciously choosing to surround yourself with positive, uplifting, and inspiring material can have a significant influence on your overall mindset and emotional state.
And finally, the practice of acting as if. Consciously embodying the emotions of your desired reality even before you see concrete external evidence. That really brings us full circle, doesn't it?
It does. It's about actively stepping into that future reality emotionally in the present moment. The blog emphasizes that even small, consistent, and intentional steps in cultivating these elevated emotions create a powerful momentum,
Okay.
leading to lasting and meaningful transformation.
Now, there's one more crucial piece that the article highlights, and it's the importance of releasing the past. It talks about how unresolved emotional ties to past experiences can really act as anchors, holding us back from embracing abundance in the present.
Absolutely. Lingering feelings of limitation, resentment, or regret stemming from past experiences can keep you entangled in old patterns
Yeah.
and prevent you from fully embracing new possibilities.
So how do we break free?
Becoming aware of these emotional ties and consciously choosing to cultivate those elevated emotional states is key to breaking free.
And the article makes an important distinction between holding on to resentment and finding gratitude for the lessons learned from past challenges.
Right. Choosing to view past challenges through the lens of gratitude for the wisdom and growth they provided, rather than clinging to resentment for the pain experienced, fundamentally shifts your perspective from one of limitation and victimhood to one of empowerment and creation. It transforms perceived setbacks into valuable stepping stones on your path.
And forgiveness, it clarifies, is really about releasing that emotional charge associated with past events.
Yes.
Not necessarily condoning what happened.
Right.
True forgiveness is about liberating yourself from the emotional weight of the past, retaining the wisdom you gained without continuing to carry the burden of resentment or pain. The blog beautifully reiterates that when you intentionally align these elevated emotions with your clear intentions for the future, you create this powerful and harmonious synergy between your conscious and subconscious minds,
Okay.
generating that magnetic field that naturally draws your desires towards you. Ultimately, it all comes back to cultivating heart-brain coherence, maintaining intentional awareness of your emotional state, and nurturing an unwavering trust in the manifestation process as your pathway to a truly abundant life. So for all of you listening, having gone on this deep dive with us into the power of elevated emotions, perhaps the most important question to consider now is, are you ready to actively release those limiting emotions that might be holding you back and step confidently into a new, more abundant future that awaits you? Take a moment to reflect. How has simply becoming more aware of your own emotional state and recognizing the potential you have to consciously choose to shift it?
Yeah.
How has that already begun to subtly impact your own personal journey of manifestation?
It's a powerful and important inquiry.
Yeah.
We really encourage you to take some time to reflect on your own experiences with this. Have you perhaps already noticed any subtle shifts in your life when you've intentionally focused on cultivating feelings of gratitude or joy?
We would love to hear about any insights or experiences you might have. You can delve deeper into this topic and find more resources over at mysticalabundance.blogspot.com.
And you can also connect with the vibrant community there on all social media platforms at mysticalabundance1111.
And of course, if you found this deep dive thought-provoking or helpful, please take a moment to like, leave a comment, subscribe to our channel, and share this conversation with your friends, or anyone you think might also benefit from understanding the incredible power of their own emotions.
And finally, we'll leave you with this thought to ponder this week. How might intentionally focusing on consciously cultivating just one of these elevated emotions, perhaps starting with gratitude or joy for the next 7 days, begin to subtly yet significantly reshape your experience of reality? It's an experiment in living worth exploring.
It really is. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next time.